This video is for lesson 1-2, more geometric figures. In this lesson, we're going to work some more with angles and angle pairs and identify and name parts of circles. Question 1. Draw 4 angles with different characteristics, describe each angle, and name the angles using numbers and letters. So here are 4 angles with different characteristics. In this first picture, I've drawn the angle so that its measure is less than 90 degrees. This is called an acute angle. It could be named angle 1, angle B, or angle ABC. In the second picture, I've drawn the angle so that it measures exactly 90 degrees. This is a right angle. It could be named angle 2, angle E, or angle DEF. This third picture is an obtuse angle. Its measure is greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. It could be named angle 3, angle H, or angle GHI. And this last one is called a straight angle. It measures exactly 180 degrees. It's numbered angle 4. It could be also called angle K, or it could be called angle JKL. Now in number 2, we're asked to compare and contrast each pair of angles. In question A, we could say that angle 1 is acute, but angle 2 is obtuse. The measure of angle 1 is less than the measure of angle 2. And we could describe their position relative to each other as being adjacent because they share a side. And we could describe them as being supplementary. If you add their measures together, it creates a straight angle. In question B, both angles are acute. The measure of angle BDC is less than the measure of angle ADB. In terms of their positions to each other, we could say that they're adjacent because they share a side, ray DB, and this time they're complementary. Together they form a right angle. In question C, both of these angles are acute. They're not adjacent, but they are still complementary because their measures add up to 90 degrees, the measure of a right angle. And down here in question D, we have an acute angle and an obtuse angle. They are not adjacent because they do not share a side, but they are supplementary because their measures add up to 180 degrees, which is a straight angle. So here we've reviewed the word adjacent to mean they share a side. We've also reviewed the word complementary, angles that add up to 90 degrees, and supplementary, angles that add up to 180 degrees. Number 3A, the figure below shows 2 intersecting lines. Name 2 angles that are supplementary to angle 4. Here's angle 4. Angle 3 or angle 5 are supplementary to angle 4. Either combines with angle 4 to form a straight angle. Number 4, complete the chart by naming all the listed angle types in each figure. So the first column of the chart goes with this first picture with the intersecting lines. The second column of the chart goes with this more complicated picture. Acute angles, that would be angle 8 and angle 9. Over here in the more complicated picture, the acute angles are angle ABF, angle DBE, and angle CBD, all angles that look like they're less than 90 degrees. Next, obtuse angles. In the first one, that would be angle 7 and angle 10. And then here are the 3 obtuse angles in the other picture. This chart asks for a few more things, so angles with the same measure, and you see those recorded in the chart. And for the more complicated picture, there are even 3 pairs of angles with the same measure. Supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180 degrees. In the first picture, there are 4 pairs of those. In the other picture, there are 6 pairs of those. Complementary angles are angles that sum to 90 degrees. The first picture has none. The second picture has 2 pairs of angles that add up to 90 degrees. Now let's change pace a little bit and stop talking about angles and begin discussing circles. A chord of a circle is a segment with both endpoints on the circle. A diameter is a chord that passes through the center of a circle. A radius is a segment with one endpoint on the circle and one endpoint at the center of the circle. Number 5, in the circle below, draw and label each term. First we have radius OA. So radius OA would begin at the center of the circle and go out in whatever direction you want to until it touches the circle. These points are labeled. The center is O, and this point here on this end is A. Question B, chord BA. A chord is a segment stretching all the way across the circle. We've already located point A, so somewhere else on the circle we want to put point B. Maybe it goes here. So if I connect these two dots together with a nice straight segment and call this B, here is chord BA. Finally, diameter CA. A diameter is a segment stretching all the way across the circle going through the center. So I'm going to change colors and draw in diameter CA. So it's got to touch at A and it's got to go through the center. So notice how it happens to be tracing that radius that I drew earlier. And then it continues all the way across to the other side of the circle, and there's where point C is. So in red, that is diameter CA. Number 6, refer to your drawing in the circle above. What is the geometric term for point O? Point O, located right there, is the center of the circle. Number 7, the circles below are concentric, meaning they have the same center. The center of both circles is P. Question A, explain why circle P is not an appropriate name for the smaller circle. And the reason you can't name the small circle circle P is because there are two circles that have center P. We wouldn't know which circle we're talking about. In question B, propose an alternate name for the smaller circle. How about we call it circle P with radius PQ? That way we know that we're talking about the small circle, not the larger circle that has center P, but radius PR. Here are some check your understanding questions, so I'll pause the video for you to work on these. Here are answers to the check your understanding questions. Number 8, compare and contrast these terms. An acute angle is an angle that measures less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle that measures more than 90 degrees, but less than 180. A right angle measures 90 degrees, and a straight angle measures 180 degrees. Number 9, the measure of angle A is 42 degrees. What is the measure of an angle that's complementary to angle A? Complementary angles add up to 90, so 42 plus what number makes 90, and the result is 48 degrees. Question B, what is the measure of an angle that is supplementary to angle A? Supplementary angles add up to 180, so 42 plus what number makes 180, and the result is 138 degrees. Number 10, draw a circle P. I've done that over on the left side of the video. Put a dot in the exact middle and called it P. Then, question A, draw a segment that has one endpoint on the circle but is not a chord. I've done that in red ink. It has one endpoint on the circle, but its other endpoint is not on the circle, so it is not a chord. Question B, draw a segment that intersects the circle in 2 points. I've done that in blue. It's intersecting here and here. And it contains the center, so the blue segment runs through the center. But this is not a radius, it's not a diameter, and it's not a chord because the endpoints of the blue segment are not on the circle. They are in the space outside of the circle, here and here. In this video, we reviewed the following goals to describe angles using words like acute, obtuse, straight, right angles, supplementary angles, complementary, adjacent. All of those words describe angles and their relationships to each other. And we identified and named parts of circles using words like radius, chord, or diameter.